What's up, guys? How you all doing? So I'm trying something a little bit new, and that is that I'm going to start doing some live streaming from YouTube. So the reason being is that for me to do a video, it takes a seriously long amount of time. I have to get all the cameras out, the tripods, the sliders, everything. I have to do all those shots, import them into Final Cut, edit them, add voiceovers, do all that kind of jazz, and I just literally do not have the time for it. So I'm thinking that if I set up this live stream, I can jump on and I can just do impromptu videos whenever I want and start bringing you guys some more content. So hopefully we've got some people in the chat now. We have. Can you just let me know that the audio and video is okay, please? So at least I can carry on and make this video, because the great thing about live streams on YouTube is that once you finish them, they process, they upload, and they're just like a normal video and they get left there behind. So I'm hoping that this is going to work and I can actually use these videos moving forward. So anyway, let's go. This video is actually about this little guy. Now, the Mac Mini itself is literally the same size as the image on this box and about half the width, the depth, sorry. So for ages, I've been using this, the trash can, which I actually think is such a beautiful device. I love everything about it. It's quiet, it's small, it looks great, it's insanely powerful. But I've had the Mac Pro since 2013. So that's coming up to 6 years, and it's been my workhorse that entire time. It's powered 6 screens, it's had eGPUs, it's had Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 adapters, it's had storage attached to it. It's done everything I've asked of it without a single glitch. Never have I had a problem with the Mac Pro. And the idea was to wait until the new Mac Pro came out, and then I would switch over from this Mac Pro to a new Mac Pro. So I've been waiting for that. The new Mac Pro is coming in 2019, which I'm super excited about. I'm insanely excited about. But what I've decided to do is try out this guy for a little while. Now, you may say to me, well, why would you do that when you're completely happy with the Mac Pro? Let me tell you why I've done it. So the Mac Pro is an amazing machine. Like I say, it's been incredible for me, absolutely incredible. I mean, when you think about what I paid for this and how much use I've got out of it, it's been permanently switched on for over 5 years. The value has been tremendous. Now, the problem is that I need to use external GPUs because I've got 6 Thunderbolt, sorry, not 6 Thunderbolt, I've got 6 4K screens. Natively, the Mac Pro doesn't do well with more than 3. Even though it does actually work, it starts to glitch out. So for ages, I've had external GPUs from Sonnet plugged in, and I've used a because the Sonnet box is a Thunderbolt 3, and I've used those external GPUs to power the monitors, which has been great. It's worked absolutely fine. However, since the previous version of OS X, Apple decided to disable Thunderbolt usage for eGPUs on Thunderbolt 2, which meant that I had to run all kinds of hacks and scripts and all kinds of stuff. And now with Mojave that's came out, it's actually made it even more difficult. So the reason I love using Macs is because there's no messing about. You plug them in, they work. 5 years later, you unplug them and you get a new one. If you have a problem, you take it to Apple, they give you a new one. That's why I like them. With PCs, like my mining machines, for example, you're constantly niggling with them. When I used to build my own computers and gaming machines and stuff like that, it's constant like little niggles. You've got to change this, you've got to change that, you've got to update the BIOS. I can't be dealing with it. I haven't got time for it. But where I was having to hack this to get it to work over Thunderbolt 2, eGPU over Thunderbolt 2, it became a bit of a ball ache. So when they brought out the new Mac Mini, I thought to myself, wow, let's try and run all 6 screens over 2 external GPUs via the Mac Mini on Thunderbolt 3, and then those issues in the newer versions of macOS, I won't have those problems. And a lot of people say to me, why don't you just not use the latest version of macOS, not much has changed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I could have done that, but I like to use the latest version. I want dark mode, and I want that other thing where it fills in the two-factor authentication via text message for you, and some other interoperation between the two devices. So that's where I was. So Apple brought out the Mac Mini. So let me tell you a little bit about the specs of the one that I went for. So I went for the 3.2 gigahertz, which was the highest processor they did, Core i7, 6 core. I went for 8 gigabytes of RAM, and then I bought an upgrade to 32 gigabytes. My current Mac Pro has got 64, but I went for this 32 gigabyte upgrade that we've got here because the 64 was unavailable for some reason or too expensive. I went for 1 terabyte SSD. And one of the other things that really pushed me towards this was the fact that you could have a 10 gigabit NIC option, network card. And I use 10 gigabit networking in my house because I've got lots of NAS devices connected over 10 gigabit, like my QNAP devices, for example. I'm just going to mute that. So I bought it. It came in total with the memory to around £2,000, something like that. I plugged it into my 2 Sonnet eGPUs. Over Thunderbolt 3, plugged in all my monitors, and lo and behold, it actually worked. That tiny little device, that tiny little Mac Mini, worked with eGPUs. And I've got to tell you, I love this philosophy of modular computing. I can now change my graphics cards completely easily by just replacing them in my eGPUs. It's so easy. At the moment, I'm running RX 580s because I had some lying around and they're natively supported by Mac. I did try a 1080 Ti, but you have to download drivers, and NVIDIA haven't updated to Mojave. And again, I'm trying to get away from any kind of hassle whatsoever. So I went with those. They're adequate for what I need. I'm probably going to change to some Vega 64s at some point, but for now, works absolutely flawlessly. You can see I've got loads of stuff going on here. Over 50 million pixels being pushed through the Mac Mini with external GPU. And then I've also got over here a 7th monitor, which you can't see, but if you follow me on social media, you will have seen it. I've got a full 35-inch widescreen high resolution monitor also attached. So I've got 7 monitors attached to the Mac Mini over eGPU, which is absolutely insane. So that's where I'm at. And at the moment, touch wood, it's working extremely well. So I'm really, really super happy with it. I'm going to give it some more testing over the next few months. And as soon as the Mac Pro comes out, obviously I'll buy the Mac Pro and I'll use the Mac Mini elsewhere and for some other reason or some other resource. It really kind of depends. But for now, that's what I'm doing. Now, what I've also been able to do as a side effect from that is I've been able to put the Mac Mini behind my monitors. And what that meant was that the only cables that need to trail from the monitor to the floor are the 3 DisplayPort cables and a Thunderbolt 3 cable. That's it. So I was able to make the monitors look completely like they're floating now. There's no cables whatsoever between the monitors and the bottom of the desk. So if you check out my social media, Instagram especially, I do at least anywhere between 10 and 20 stories on Instagram every day, from personal stuff to this stuff to work to whatever. Please make sure you follow me. I'll leave links down below. I've done loads of videos and stuff on there about my setup. So let me just show you, and I hope the audio continues to work throughout this. So this was what I did. I drilled a hole. Let's see if I can get this to transition. There you go. I drilled a hole in the back of the wall behind the monitors, which is held on by a big MDF board. And then I also drilled another hole down below that. And what that gave me the ability to do was to put cables into there, mount the Mac Mini on this wooden board, put the cables in there, drop them all the way down the wall, and then they come out at the bottom, one behind each set of drawers. So even now, even though I've got the eGPUs on the floor, there's 0 cables, like 0 cables, and it looks sensational, I've got to tell you. I'm super happy with the way it looks. Let me just see if I can drag another image over. I don't know if you can do this whilst it's running. I don't think you can. No, you can't. Just try one more time. Where is it? Add in an image. Add existing. Create. No, you can't do it. What I will do though is I'll bring it up on my phone just here, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. Look at that, 0 cables underneath, and they just like floating. Now I know the desk is a bit wonky in that picture because I hadn't had time to move it, but how cool does that actually look? It looks sensational. I'm so happy with it. I can't even tell you how happy I am with it. And if I want more processing power in the GPU, which is all you ever really want, that and memory, and SSD storage, I can just plug it in over Thunderbolt 3. If I want to add another 3 or 4 eGPUs, I can add more. It's not a problem. It's awesome. And with the CalDigit TS3 Pro, I also have the ability to plug multiples in and have loads of USB ports and microphone inputs and all this other kind of stuff. So it's worked phenomenally well. But that is it from me today. I'm just going to go to the comments. Has anyone got any questions in the comments for me? Oh, it's still on the video. So I'm just going to put this back. Hopefully it's back on me again now. Sorry about that, guys. I totally forgot about that. So, yeah, the LED strip can change colour, by the way. At the moment, I've got it set to this purple because that is my absolute favourite. But I've actually got an app on my phone, or I can use Alexa and I can say, hey, Alexa, turn the lights in my office green, and it will actually do that. And that little adapter is just a cheap bit of kit. So, that's awesome. Please, for one video, bring back, hi, this is Mr. Tybox123. Okay. Has anyone got any questions? Also, how are you coping with the CPU core count drop? I haven't noticed, to be honest. It's been fine for me. Is my voice still in sync? Because I've had some sync problems on this. Tom Downey asks about the light strip. The one I use is off Amazon. I'll leave some links down in the video description for the Wi-Fi adapter and the lights. But I think for both they are about £8 or £12 or something like that. Crazy cheap. So everyone's telling me it's in sync, which is awesome. So that is it from me, guys. I will catch up with you in another video. Hope you're all well. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you later. Now I've got to somehow work out how to stop this stream.